Quickly before we dive into this video, I just want to run over a couple of things for you guys. Now, this is a race setup hot lap for you guys, not a time trial one. These are aimed to improve your consistency over the course of a race stint, not be able to qualify and pole and spend most of the Grand Prix spinning. Now, I'm sure as F1 2021 evolves, I'm sure faster setups will be coming, and I might try and cover these down the line, obviously, if I go back round and do all these hot laps again as well. If you're already a league racer, these hot laps might not be so useful for you. However, if you're trying to learn no line on F1 2021, if you're trying to learn no assists at all, hopefully these laps will help you out, obviously, with better consistency and give you consistent marker boards as well that you want to be looking out for on F1 2021. No line is a incredibly daunting thing for a lot of people. I know it does take a lot of time. It took me a good year and a half to learn no line on the F1 games, but I cannot stress to you guys enough how much more satisfying it is when you get a good result in a league race when you aren't using line anymore on the F1 games, especially, when the weather comes down and everything like that. Keep at it. You will get there. It does take time. It takes all of us time on the F1 games and any other racing game for that matter. But, of course, if you aren't enjoying it, that's fair enough. Go back to line if you really do feel like it as well. There is no disappointment in doing that as well. But yeah, of course, like I said, I'm going to try and cover every track on the F1 calendar over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you subscribe as well if you do. We're trying to hit 20k at the moment, and yeah, let's dive into this. Hello everyone, and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with something a little bit different. Now recently you guys have been asking me for setups here on F1 2021, and I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to sort of find out what works for me on the new game. But rather than just giving you guys a set of numbers and obviously letting you guys run away with it, I mean, by all means you can just skip to that. There will be timestamps down below. I decided today I will be diving in and doing a proper explanation of how to drive on F1 2021. So over the course of the next few weeks, we are going to be doing in-depth hot laps around each track on the Formula 1 calendar. So of course we're going to start this series here at Bahrain. Now obviously you see hot laps online, there will be hot laps quicker than this around on YouTube as well, but these are designed to A, teach you how to drive the track, and B, give you a setup that is actually useful for race trim. Now obviously we see a lot of setups online on F1 2021 already. The top of the time trials, they are great for doing one lap, but over a race pace, they are absolutely awful. So yeah, this is also going to be race design setups. You can see 6-8 wings to start you off there. F1 2021 seems to rely on some slightly higher wings than 2020. 65-55 on the differential there should mean you don't get too much wheel spin. It allows you obviously a little bit more slip on the acceleration versus the deceleration there. Front camber of -2.7, a rear camber of -1.8, and then 0.07 and 0.26 toe as well. There is a good balance between trying to get as much rotation through the car as possible and also trying to keep your tyres in good nick there. 3.6, 3.6, 3.6 on all of the suspension settings there. Obviously, you always want a higher rear suspension than the front. Helps get the front end rotated through the corners there. Obviously, softer on the fronts as well, of course, with the anti-roll bars. And, of course, the ride height as well, like I said. You do have to run a little bit higher ride height as well on F1 2021. 97% brake pressure, 55% front brake bias as well. You cannot run 50% like you used to on F1 2020. The rears will just step round on you. So that's why I'm running 55% there. Race pace, I might suggest taking it down to 95. 21.8, 21.8, and then 21.1 and 21.1 for your tyre pressures as well. It allows you enough slip, but doesn't wear out the tyres too badly. So I'm going to let you guys ride on board then with a lap here from Bahrain. Like I said, it's not the fastest time in the world, but I think it's quite a good lap to help you guys learn how to race on F1 2021. though, coming down towards the finish line, then you can see that time is a 1:25.368 there. Puts us 150th in the world so far on the Xbox platform as well there, so rather happy with that one. But let's go into a proper in-depth analysis then of the lap. Fourth gear out the final corner, you want to avoid that curbing on the outside there. Activate the DRS, of course, as soon as you can there. Rev the car up to about 11,800 RPM. You don't want to be redlining it too much. And as you head down in towards turn one, we're going to slow it down here. You want to brake just after you get to the curb on the outside there, obviously way before the 100-meter board. Don't be too aggressive rotating down the gears. Of course, you can lock at the rear end, and that can really, really affect the stability of the car, as you want to try and get as close to the inside curb as possible. So let's watch this then as we head down in towards turn one. You can see not being too aggressive on the downshifts there. You know, you want to just be hitting the red light all the way down into first gear there. You want to try and give yourself a little bit of extra rotation, and then really, really easy short shifting back up into second there. Turn 2 and turn 3 as well can be very, very difficult. You want to take as much curb as you can through turn 2 there, you can see, and then actually you can use a bit more of the curb on the exit there. You can see the back end bounces around this, so we're going to short shift back up to 6th and then activate the DRS. Heading into turn 4 then, you can see this one you want to be braking just as you reach that little marker on the left-hand side there, even, sorry, I should say, and then slowly rotate the car. Obviously, you can take a bit of the outside curb as you get in towards the apex, but it can be very, very difficult to try and make sure you keep the back end stable there as you get it back down into third gear there, and then get ready to ease on the throttle on the exit. Careful of the curbing on the outside of the exit of the corner there. It can really unsettle the car. You've either got to take a lot of it or none at all. And now as you head in towards the chicane, you've got to be really, really careful through here. You can nudge the inside curb on the way in, but I wouldn't recommend it lap after lap there. Down into 5th gear, back up into 6th on the way out there. You have to avoid both the inside and the secondary part of that outside curb there. Rotate the car back over, brake just as you go past the Aramco sign on the left-hand side there, and take as much curb as you can to open up the hairpin as best as possible. You can see understeer just a little bit this time around there. You can use first for optive for second there, and you can see the back end does just kick out ever so slightly on the exit of the corner. Into the most infamous part of the lap though, of course, turn 9 and turn 10 there. We want to really try and open up the part through the first part there. A lot of people do like to run wider on the way in, but personally I'm not a fan of it. Really, really careful on the brakes there. You can see barely using half brake pressure. Try and get the car rotated through down into first gear there. Definitely want to avoid the curb on the exit. We just nudge it this time round, and then you can activate the DRS on the exit of the corner. Heading down the back straight though, a little bit of a chance for a breather before you head into the next corners. You can just at that blue line, you can see the dark blue line just after the 100-meter board there. Turn 11 can be quite a difficult corner actually to spot the braking point, but that is what I'm using there. Make sure you get a lot of the car over the curb as well, though, but you avoid putting the left-hand wheels over the white line, of course, otherwise it will invalidate the lap. Then into the next corner, you want to be turning in just after the 50-meter board there. We actually turn in a little bit late this time round, but we short shift back into 4th gear there, really get on the power nice and early, and that allows us to get into the next S section. Really rotate the car back over into the left, and then as you head through the next right-hander, you've got to be so smooth through here. I say it a lot, avoid that inside curb at all costs. You will spin every single time you hit that curb there. Make sure you get nicely over the curb in towards the next corner. Want to brake just before it turns back in to the right-hand side there whilst it's still straight. Try and get to the inside curb as well, that you can actually get over that curb, and then I'm short shifting back up into 5th on the exit as you use that exit curb as well. That's allowing us to get a really, really good run down in towards the final corner. You've nailed the lap up to this point. One more turn to go, and as you head in towards this final corner, brake right on the 100-meter board just as you get across the curb and the white line there. Plenty of reference points to pick between there. Make sure you take a lot of curb on the way in. Tip the car down into 3rd gear through this final corner. Just nudge the inside curb. Short shift back up to 4th for extra power. You might want to use 5th if you realise you're scrubbing out towards the outside curb, as while they're in and out of the final corner, down towards the line. You activate the DRS once more, and that is a lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit there. Like I said, pretty happy with that lap overall. Well, there we are then, guys, the end of our Bahrain hot lap. We're right on board with it just once more. In terms of race strategy here, if you're starting outside the top 10, the medium hard is definitely the way to go. A soft hard strategy is just about possible around this circuit for a lot of people, especially if you're on the pad. Personally, I've never actually had to do it, so I'm not 100% sure how I would fare with it there. Of course, the 2-stop is viable as well. Of course, you can do a medium soft strategy if you're not feeling so confident on the tyres as well. But of course, like we said, yeah, curbing is your enemy around this circuit. There are quite a few lethal curbs around this lap that can really unsettle the car, hence why we've got the ride height a little bit more, just to help you get the car rotated over them and, yeah, try and keep it settled as best as possible. Like I said, these setups won't give you the best time on time trial, but certainly will help you out over the course of a race, and I think that's where generally I want to be a lot stronger as well. Of course, it probably is useful as well in career mode, as well as obviously online league racing as well. But hopefully, yeah, this Hotlap has helped you out. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a few more of these over the coming weeks and months, obviously, if this is something you guys do enjoy. I've always wanted to sort of try and help you guys out. I know a lot of you guys are new to the Formula 1 games when you do watch these videos as well, of course. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll be back very, very soon with Round 2. Obviously, we'll head to the Spanish Grand Prix, a very, very interesting track now after the remodel on F1 2020 and of course F1 2021 as well. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with another video.